This is the most ridiculous interview I'll ever do. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Diane Bogino. Our guest today is a certified speaking professional and funny guy, Jeff Justice. If you're looking for a clean, funny keynote humorist to guarantee your next meeting is a huge success, and then motivational humorist Jeff Justice is your guy. Your audience will laugh while they learn how to use humor appropriately for relieving stress, dealing with clients, breaking down barriers, and becoming more productive. Jeff has headlined in top comedy clubs in the United States for 14 years. He's been teaching stand-up comedy at Jeff Justice's Comedy Workshop for 20 years and has graduated over 2,000 students. Jeff is the author of 5 humor books. The latest is Laugh More, Stress Less, and Avoid Getting Burned Out. He also has a CD entitled How to Ad-Lib Like a Professional, or Just Look Like One. Jeff is also the 2009 World and National Heavyweight Champion in Tai Chi Push Hands. That sounds like a whole nother interview, Jeff.
It is.
Thanks so much for being with us here today, Jeff.
My pleasure.
So, Jeff, I wanted to show your book here, Laugh More, Stress Less, if we can get a good camera shot of that without the light.
We can zoom in later.
We can zoom in later. Okay, we'll do that. And this is your CD. Where can people get these?
They can get them at jeffjustice.com.
jeffjustice.com. People need to laugh more, that's for sure.
Not sold in stores, only on my website. That's how exclusive they are.
Boy. So how did you go from being a top comedian in a comedy clubs to a motivational humorist on managing stress?
Well, when I came down here to Atlanta, I moved. I got married, moved down here, and some agents had asked me to start doing luncheons because I was a clean comedian at the time. And I would notice that when people came down, usually they were on-site meetings, and people would just be totally stressed out, like white-knuckled from the morning. And by the time we finished the program, they'd been laughing for 45 minutes. They'd be coming up going, oh, man, I needed that. And I feel like I can go back to the office and not stuff my boss in the shredder. And I started reading everything about the connection between humor and laughter and stress release, and it was just incredible, the connections between there. So in my keynote programs, I started adding more and more humor relating to stress in the workplace and using humor, and people loved it. So I just naturally transitioned over to that.
Okay. Jeff, let's say I hire you to come into my company and do a workshop.
Okay.
What will my people be able to do differently, or what will they do that they haven't been doing?
Well, the number one thing is, I think, is they're going to learn to be able to laugh themselves, take themselves lightly, yet still take their work seriously. And they're going to learn the advantage of using humor in the workplace. Because when you can find the laughter in a situation, you can solve the problems. When you're tense, not a big chance it's going to happen. So using humor in the workplace gets people to work with you instead of for you, and that's one of the keys, I think, of management.
You do something really unique. You will go in and host a whole conference.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Well, first of all, I get a lot of information beforehand, what's going on. During the conference, I watch the speakers and the presenters that are going on. I use humor to talk about what they were talking about, which helps drive home their message even more. And during the day, I'm doing different exercises and different bits of comedy to help break the tension, give them a little 15 to 20-minute laugh break.
So, Jeff, what are some of the biggest mistakes that non-humorists make when they're trying to be funny?
The first one is, if you want to be funny, you got to shut up. Which doesn't make sense, because how else are you going to be funny? But the thing is, once you say the punchline, what makes it funny, stop talking. And what happens is so many people are afraid that they're going to have that silence, that they fill that silence with their own words, and the audience doesn't have a chance to laugh. Number 2, what's funny goes at the end. So whatever makes your joke funny, your story funny, is the last word you say before you do what? Stop talking, that's right.
Let me just ask you this. In that same vein, you mentioned the word joke. Just telling a joke for the sake of telling a joke. Bad. It's got to make a point.
I tell people, don't use humor in a presentation unless it's to make a point.
And, Jeff, your CD about ad-libbing, how do you teach somebody to ad-lib? I thought that was supposed to be spontaneous.
It's supposed to look spontaneous.
Right,
there you go.
Okay.
There's no better ad-lib than a well-prepared ad-lib. But basically, for a business speaker, If you just identify all the things that are going to go wrong or could go wrong during the presentation, and you know what they are, right? Microphone, what?
Right, cuts out, right.
Cuts out, feedback,
Right.
doesn't work when you first go up there, lights go out, noise next door, food's late, big noise in the room. Matter of fact, I was doing a program years ago for one of the phone companies, and during the dinner, I was talking to the meeting planner, and I was explaining something to him, and as I moved my hands back, I hit the poor guy that was carrying the dishes, clearing the tables, and I mean about 20 pounds of dishes hit the floor, just crash! And everybody in the place stopped in mid-bite and just like, I just looked and said, job opening! Everybody laughed, went back to dinner, everything was okay. So when you're able to ad-lib, it's one of the most valuable tools you can have for looking professional up there.
Okay. Jeff, we often hear that it's healthy to blow off a little bit of steam, but how does the managing stress work in corporate America? And I've heard also that laughter has healthy benefits.
Sure.
Is that true?
Oh, yes, yes. Matter of fact, I was reading an article in the USA Today, so you know it's true. But they had studied men through autopsies who had died in their late 50s, early 60s of heart disease. And they found that 87% of them, that's a huge amount,
Yeah.
their heart was covered by lesions, scarring, which makes their heart less elastic, more prone to heart disease. And when you get angry, your body releases adrenaline, and the adrenaline causes these small, tiny lesions over a period of time that keep building up and building up and building up. So it used to be the thing was to blow off steam. The thing is not to get angry. You ever do what they call justified anger? Somebody did something wrong to you, and you feel justified being angry?
Not me.
No, that'd be wrong. Of course not you. One of my favorite quotes is from Buddy Hackett. He says, when you're home being angry, the person that made you angry is out dancing.
Yes.
Right? They still have a hold on you.
Speaking of humor in the workplace, what are some safe targets in the workplace that people can have fun with?
Well, I've narrowed it down. Yourself and inanimate objects. Because everybody has to be PC these days. Everybody,
right.
I mean, there's just people looking for a reason to be offended. Aha! I'm offended now.
You encourage your audiences to laugh more, stress less, to avoid getting burned out. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Taking yourself seriously, number one sign of burnout. And when you think things won't get done, the world won't go on without you, that's how people get burned out. And believe me, it lasted for billions of years without you. Okay, we'll make it somehow.
Right.
And I mean, there's been 2 or 3 studies they've had. They have found that if you are willing and able in a corporate environment to poke fun at yourself and what you do, you must be extremely confident in who you are and what you do. So, and think about the people you admire as great leaders, or the people that can laugh at themselves, or people that are dead serious. Always love that expression.
Dead
serious.
You've been in business a long time, Jeff. Tell us a little bit about your business philosophy for our viewers out there. What's been the secret for your longevity?
I got it down to 3 things. It has to be something I really enjoy doing. So when I get up Monday morning, I'm like, yes! I get to start the week. And I'm like that every Monday morning. I never drag and dread Monday morning. 2, it's got to have something to do with humor. So I have my managing stress with humor, my humor in the workplace. I have continuing education programs that are how to deal with stress using humor, and I have the comedy workshop. And 3, it's got to help other people. So if I do those 3 things, no matter what, I love going to work, which is so important. And if I love going to work, it's going to show I'm going to make money.
Jeff, thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
We've been speaking with Jeff Justice. I'm your host, Diane Bogino. Until next time on Business Notes. And you know Jeff is serious about humor.